And Ryan Reynolds, childhood teacher, reached out to me, and I wasn't going to share it, but I think I have to now because it's super interesting and compelling for those of us that are interested in the psychology of this couple.
That's been really he's a millennial girl. He is you don't see superhero movies, especially male superhero movies like that, but I'm his only friend. So there's a lot of
romance is real between the two of them.
Writes it. So,
Ryan Reynolds, the undisputed king of sarcasm, may have finally met his match, and this time it's not Hugh Jackman, it's his own wife, Blake Lively. The same Blake who balances a thriving Hollywood career, multiple kids, and a full-blown lifestyle empire has once again outplayed Ryan in their ongoing Instagram roast war, effortlessly making him look like a clueless dad. But this time, her latest move might have crossed the line just a little too far.
It really took me 9 hours to get through and understand the entire Justin Baldoni lawsuit. I would be lying to you guys if I didn't say reading this and going through it with a fine-tooth comb and really making a meaningful effort to just look at the facts alone didn't completely change my entire perspective on the situation. So I'm going to do my best to go through the most important points that I found because I think I discovered some things that I have not seen anybody else talk about.
Candace Owens posted to her story saying she spoke to a source that claims Ryan Reynolds is the problem. She said the tip came from someone who allegedly worked on the set and said lately everyone is bashing Blake Lively, but apparently the true villain of the saga is...
Drama between Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni has now escalated into a full-blown legal battle, with both stars suing each other over a tangled web of claims that revolve around their collaboration on the 2024 film It Ends With Us. Lively, known for her roles in Gossip Girl and A Simple Favor, claims that Baldoni, the film's director, tried to destroy her career through a smear campaign after she brought forth allegations of sexual harassment and a hostile work environment against him. On the flip side, Baldoni says Lively went too far by exerting control over the production, threatening to withhold promotion unless her demands were met. He also argues that she falsely portrayed their professional relationship to the public, tarnishing his reputation. And while Lively is suing Baldoni for sexual harassment, retaliation, and false slight invasion of privacy, among other claims, Baldoni is countering with a defamation and civil extortion lawsuit, claiming that Lively not only made false allegations against him, but weaponized them to force him into complying with her.
Apparently, the internet has decided that Blake is the reason Ryan is being, quote, canceled, in the grand tradition of social media outrage. Guilt by association is always in play. Did Ryan actually do anything wrong? No. But when has that ever stopped people from declaring a celebrity problematic?
Wife posted something on Instagram and she wrote this. Last week I left my kids for the first time ever.
Yeah.
Look, she looks very happy.
Yeah, she did.
So were you with the 4 kids?
I was with the 4 kids.
How was that?
Single dad. I'm a Reba McEntire song. Single dad, doing it, just doing it for them, right? Took them all to the park, told them mommy left when they were young. Surprisingly, you get a lot of action that way. We had a good time. No one died, but it was nice.
That was good.
And 4 kids, it's just a zoo. You just surrender, right?
You just have to surrender.
24/7. You surrender. When we had our 4th, I was so happy because I always wanted to make sure that we always had someone on hand to give me strep throat. And now we've recovered.
It's rolling sickness.
There's just never a healthy, a full clean slate.
Is Ryan actually freaking out? For a man who usually handles PR disasters like comedy specials, his version of panic might just be another sarcastic tweet. But one thing's for sure, this time he might not be able to joke his way out of it. Let's break it down.
Everything started when Ryan Reynolds decided to stroll onto the movie set one day and review the dailies. This is an industry term for all the footage that they filmed for the day. And he also decided to take a look at the script, and between the two, something allegedly set him off. This person claims that the production assistants then overheard Ryan and Blake having an argument in her trailer. Ryan Reynolds started being on the set on a regular basis as if he were her chaperone, and that is when he started inserting himself into the actual production, including writing lines. And then she says the next part part was alleged in their lawsuits that Ryan and Blake, perhaps in response to her husband's anger, began inserting themselves in the effort to change lines and change scenes. And of course, the allegation that Ryan Reynolds was making fun of Justin Baldoni in his movie when he played the character Nice Pool. And we did hear this, I believe, from Justin's lawsuit, but correct me if I'm wrong, but she also says that allegedly Ryan presented an ultimatum to WME, the biggest talent agency in Hollywood, whose client roster include everyone from Taylor.
Did Blake Lively do that supposedly got Ryan Reynolds canceled? Well, that depends on who you ask. Some say she made an offhand comment that didn't sit well with the internet. Others claim it was an old social media post, one of those harmless things no one cared about at the time, but years later suddenly became the worst thing ever. Then there's the classic possibility. She simply existed in the wrong place at the wrong time, and the outrage machine needed a new target. Either way, social media did what it does best: overreact. And since Ryan is married to Blake, he was automatically guilty by association. That's just how online outrage works. One half of a celebrity couple sneezes, and the other half gets blamed for it.
Blake Lively is accusing Justin Baldoni of sexual harassment, followed by an attempted PR takedown of her to cover his own ass from people finding out what he did to her. In an article titled, "We Can Bury Anyone," Blake Lively heroically shared her story, and the world was on her side because it looked like she was just trying to take down a predator in Hollywood. So Justin Baldoni and his ace lawyer launched an all-cylinder fire attack to clear his name, and he started by suing the New York Times, saying that article was just published because it was paid for by Ryan Reynolds, and it was a multi-layered scheme planned out by Blake and Ryan to take down Justin. And I think it's pretty common knowledge that the mainstream media will lie on behalf of their powerful friends or anyone who pays them off to say certain things. But this will be tough because the New York Times has never lost a lawsuit in their life, but Justin just released some very piping hot information that seemingly proves that Blake and Ryan Reynolds were colluding with the New York Times.
Being Ryan, he probably wanted to joke about it. That's his thing. He's been roasting himself for years. His career, his movies, his life choices. The man literally turned Deadpool into a box office phenomenon by making fun of himself. Self-deprecation isn't just his humor style, it's his brand. But this time, the joke may not land the way it usually does. Social media doesn't always understand irony, and sarcasm can easily be mistaken for arrogance when outrage is already in the air. What once felt charming and relatable can suddenly be reframed as tone-deaf or dismissive. Ryan has built a reputation on laughing first so no one else can laugh at him. But online culture has changed. The rules are different now. Context gets ignored, timelines collapse, and old clips are treated like breaking news. A punchline that worked 5 years ago can spark backlash today. And when your name starts trending for the wrong reasons, even the funniest guy in the room has to pause. Jokes stop being armor and start becoming fuel. For someone who has always joked his way out of trouble, this might be one moment where silence or strategy matters more than a perfectly timed quip.
He didn't write the book, but essentially, and this is some Comic-Con stuff, guys, like literally, like if you're deep into Marvel Universe or DC Universe, you may know about these things. I definitely did not know about these things, but they create these books essentially about all of the movies, and they're sort of these art books. This one's called Marvel Studios, Deadpool and Wolverine, the art of the movie. Essentially what that is, it's a gallery of never before seen artwork, which is the description, and exclusive lithographs and in-depth interviews with the creative team. And so they sit down with these characters and the people that created them, and they ask them questions. And I am scared. I am so scared. So I'm going to read you directly what Ryan had to say when they sat down with him to discuss Nice Pool. Okay, I'm going to show you this, and then I'll give you.
This time, the internet wasn't laughing. Instead of rolling their eyes and moving on, people started digging deep. Someone resurfaced their 2012 plantation wedding, a controversy Ryan and Blake have already apologized for multiple times. But apologies, as the internet loves to prove, come with an expiration date. Next, every joke Ryan has ever made about Blake was suddenly put on trial, dissected line by line as if humor itself were a crime. Context didn't matter. Timing didn't matter. Intent didn't matter. What once read as playful banter was reframed as evidence. Then came the familiar accusation. He's performatively woke, saying the right things while still being part of the problem. It's a label the internet throws around freely, often without agreeing on what it even means. Supporting causes isn't enough. Donating isn't enough. Acknowledging mistakes isn't enough. Old interviews were clipped into seconds-long videos. Tweets were pulled from different eras and stitched together to fit a new narrative. Suddenly, Ryan wasn't a comedian or an actor, he was a case study. And just like that, the cycle of internet outrage continued. One controversy fed the next, each louder than the last. Nuance disappeared, patience vanished, and the mob moved exactly where it always does: forward, faster, and without mercy.
From earlier today, moments ago, the judge overseeing their federal case in New York, Judge Lyman, ruled on the former B-list actress's request for an additional layer of protection. The unliftable Blake was not happy with the standard protective order in the case. She wanted an attorney's eyes only designation. And the judge has granted that. Congrats to Taylor Swift. Of the judge's ruling, a spokesperson for Delulu says, quote, "Today, the court rejected the Wayfarer party's objections and entered the protections needed to ensure the free flow of discovery material without any risk of witness intimidation or harm to any individual's security. With this order in place, Ms. Lively will move forward in the discovery process to obtain even more of the evidence that will prove her claims in court."
And just like that, hashtag Ryan Reynolds over party was trending, because of course it was. The internet never misses a chance to declare a celebrity finished. But here's where things got interesting. Normally, when Ryan and Blake get caught in online drama, they lean straight into it. They joke, they troll each other, they turn the whole mess into a meme and let humor diffuse the tension. That's the formula. That's what people expect. Not this time. Blake went completely silent. No playful Instagram post, no sarcastic caption, not even a passive-aggressive meme, just nothing. And in internet culture, silence is never neutral. It's interpreted, analyzed, and weaponized. That silence only poured gasoline on the fire. Comment sections filled with speculation. Fans refreshed feeds looking for a sign. Any sign that this was all part of the usual bit, but it never came. So the internet did what it always does. It invented theories. One camp decided Blake was genuinely in trouble, and Ryan was stepping in to absorb the backlash, playing the shield while she stayed out of sight. To them, his silence wasn't confidence, it was damage control. The other camp had a darker read. They believed Blake was letting Ryan take all the heat, while she quietly sipped her coffee, waiting for the outrage cycle to burn itself out. In this version, silence wasn't stress, it was strategy. Suddenly, every past interaction between them was re-examined. Every joke, every interview, every red carpet moment was treated like a clue. What used to feel like a playful partnership was now framed as a PR chess match. And the longer Blake stayed quiet, the louder the noise became. Because when the internet doesn't get a response, it doesn't move on, it doubles down.